we think that their presence is going to be a positive impact to the overall safety of the 5 high schools. And then eventually, as we get them situated into the schools, our plan is to hopefully have them branch out and support the middle and the elementary schools.
5 school resource officers trained in firearms use by the Judiciary of Guam are expected to be posted at each of the island's public high schools beginning in January. The SROs are funded through a federal grant awarded to the Department of Education, but the officers will be employed by the Judiciary of Guam.
And so these school resource officers were hired as probation officers. They are supervised by the chief probation officer, and they've been certified and trained with the judiciary firearms policy.
Senator Frank Blas Jr., however, doesn't think the judiciary should get involved with policing a public high school campus.
One of the very major first concerns that anybody's got to worry about is the liability. Who's going to be liable for this? And if this individual is in fact an employee of the court, and something were to occur, who's going to, who's going to prosecute, or who's going to stand up and look at this from the judicial sense, with regards to the case before them.
DOE Student Support Services Division Administrator Chris Anderson says the school system has partnered with the Guam Police Department and the Attorney General's office to provide SROs in the past, but he says the programs never got off the ground.
We haven't been able to make traction using those means. And so we already had a memorandum of understanding with the judiciary, and so we've been doing some really great work with them over the last couple of years. And so the idea was to see if we could try this vehicle as a means to try and get resource officers.
Senator Blas isn't the first Guam lawmaker to raise concern about the issue. Senator B.J. Cruz, who is currently off-island, has asked his staff to draw up an amendment to block the implementation of the program because he doesn't think the officers should have handguns. Also in response to the program, Senator Judy Gutherts today introduced legislation banning all firearms, those worn openly and concealed, from any Guam DOE campus. In a press release about the bill, the senator said she is in favor of almost anything to improve security in our schools, but, quote, this approach is simply wrong. Still, Anderson believes the school resource officer program is an effective deterrent against crime on school campuses.
Every high school has experienced violent behavior in different capacities and different forms. Fortunately, we have not had anyone recently who's brought a firearm on campus and used it to hurt somebody. And so that's really what I'm, when you talk about a law enforcement person with a firearm, I mean, that's really, I think, where they could be of most assistance with that tool is when you do have somebody who is an active shooter on campus and they need to immediately and effectively address the threat.